It is Selection Sunday.
Oh, God.
OMG, do we have a show? Do we have a lot to talk about today, Gee? There were the conference championship games yesterday. Wow. And then Selection Sunday. Little curveball at the end. And now we get to talk about it. We watched 3 hours of the show. So we could so we could come and give our opinions.
Like y'all needed it.
Because they need it. Before we get into all of that, the coaching carousel continues to turn.
I'm confused.
Oh, aren't we all? I need
we need a scoreboard.
I need a chart. You know what I mean?
We do.
And you like move the people around. So
these are the top 12 that are competing in the coaches carousel.
So the biggest job that I think was on the market is Penn State, right?
True.
So they hired Matt Campbell, the head coach at Iowa State, which is crazy. That's going to be a big shoes to fill in. I love Matty Campbell. I think he's done a great job at Iowa State. So that was interesting. But now that leaves a vacancy at Iowa State. So then you got Cal. Did you read it?
Yes.
His resume?
Yes. What?
Do you have his resume?
No, I don't have his resume.
Oh, okay.
I was looking at trying to find what I wrote down for his for his record.
Oh, okay.
He was 8-4.
8-4. Oh, this year they were 8-4.
He was 8-4.
Yeah, but overall they've got to be pretty good.
Okay,
right?
Then of course he's going to Penn State.
Yeah.
Okay. Now they were the Big 12. Matt's gone.
Oh, he's going from the Big 12 to the Big 10. Yes, good point.
Matt's
good point.
Gone.
So, which is weird. Iowa State's, I guess it's not. Iowa State's in the Big 12 and Iowa's in the Big 10. But you know what? This day and age.
A coach is a coach.
Nothing is crazy.
With the way they've been falling, you take anybody.
No, I'm just, that's not what I was saying.
Oh.
That's not what I was saying at all. Shady. You shady boots. Okay.
Just saying.
Cal State hires the defensive coordinator, Tosh Lapois from Oregon. And if you recall, Oregon is also losing their offensive coordinator because he's going to Kentucky.
Well, Dan Lanning said they got everybody in place, so he ain't worried.
For now, but it's like, this is crazy. All of these movements are going to cause so much extra.
And at such a bad time.
Yeah. It's not their fault. It's the way the play, whoever is in charge does it. So UCLA hires Bob Chesney, head coach at James Madison, which is huge. I'm very excited for this. I think UCLA is a great program. They've got a lot of money. They should be able to be winning more games. That leaves an opening for James Madison, who James Madison turns around and hires Bill Napier from Florida.
Get in where you fit in.
Oh
Bill.
My gosh, I think that's gonna be a great pickup. We've talked about it. A lot of great coaches got fired, but we still think they're good coaches.
They're still good coaches.
They're still good coaches. So I think James Madison, prior to Bob Chesney, they had Kurt Signetti, who is the head coach at Indiana, and
prime example.
You think,
went from JMU to what?
Exactly, and now Bob Chesney's got promoted 2 years in, and now Bill Napier go. James Madison could be a name we're talking about for a few years, which is very exciting. UAB promoted their offensive coordinator, who was playing interim head coach, Alex Mortensen.
I was going for that job. How dare they?
Well, there's 2 jobs open: Coastal Carolina and Tulane.
I still got a chance.
Yes, they have not announced a replacement coach for them. North Texas hired the assistant to Neil Brown, who was the assistant to the head coach at Texas. So Sark is losing somebody from his team. UConn has hired Jason Kendall, who has been the head coach for the last 10 years at the University of Toledo.
I'm hurt.
He was there for 10 years.
Oh, well, you know.
Come on, Maction. And then USF hires, of course, talk about being hurt, the offensive coordinator from Ohio State, Brian Hartline. We knew it was inevitable. Brian Hartline's been incredible. The wide receivers that he's recruited, they call it wide receiver U. I wish him all the luck, but gosh, that's going to be a big loss for us.
Well,
Memphis hires Charles Huff, who was the head coach at Southern Miss this year, but he was the head coach at Marshall last year. Remember the one they got the NIL with the biscuits?
Oh, him!
They played Ohio State.
My favorite guy.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, that's gonna. I think he's a good coach. I think that'll be a good hire.
He didn't have NIL money, but he had biscuits.
So Iowa State, they're not gonna wait around. They immediately hired Jimmy Rogers, who's the head coach at Washington State. So now Washington State, I think, has an opening for you as well.
Whoa.
Now did that fry your brain?
I'll tell you.
Let me give you one more. Virginia Tech fired Brent Pry and they hired James Franklin.
That's right.
Well, they've hired Brent Pry to be the defensive coordinator.
Oh dear. Oh my.
It ain't over. It ain't over when you get fired, man. They can hire you back.
There is still life. There is still life after being fired.
There is still life after the game. It's crazy.
Oh God.
Okay, so division championship games. Some better than others. Some not so great. Some a little too great, even though it might not have went in your favor. But we'll go down the list. Some on Friday, the Sun Belt. Troy versus number 25, James Madison. James Madison handled Troy in easy fashion and won 45-10. I don't think anybody was.
Oh, was that the final score?
No, I'm looking at the wrong thing.
I was going to say, wait a minute.
I'm sorry. It was 31-14.
Okay, there you go.
31-14. And so, then there was that. Okay. A game that we didn't watch, but we probably should go watch where the score was closer. Kennesaw State beats Jack State 19-15.
That probably was a good game.
Well, Kennesaw State had the better record, but I mean, with that close of a score,
that was probably a good game.
Yeah. And what did somebody say over the weekend? In football, you never take anything. Everything's earned. Everything's earned in football, especially college football. And I think that's a good point because I think what we would call there was another game Friday, which was UNLV versus Boise State, and UNLV lost.
That was our boy. Was that Dan Mullen?
Dan Mullen. So 38-21. UNLV had the better record, but Boise State, I think, is a little bit more established program.
Because they'd already played UNLV and Boise State had already
Sometimes that doesn't matter.
Came back to Hangover.
We'll talk about it later. But very proud of Dan Mullins and what he's done this season as a first-year coach at UNLV, though.
That's true.
I thought so. I thought that was pretty great. And I guess what I would call the biggest game of Friday is ranked number 24 North Texas was taking on ranked number 20 Tulane in the American Championship Conference. They had the same record as far as overall, and North Texas just did not look up. Did not show up. They lose 34-21.
Well, they didn't have the same record. North Texas had 11-1 record.
Oh, okay, they were close. My bad.
They were close. Mm-hmm. I like your thing. But everything that could go wrong did go wrong for North Texas. I mean, it was a cluster fuck for the start to finish.
Oh wow!
I mean, it was everything. I mean, he had
let's start three interceptions.
And Drew Mestermeyer is a better quarterback than that, as you can see from their records, 11-1, and they just couldn't get it going. He had. He passed for 294 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions.
And then they had two lost fumbles.
3 forced fumbles.
No, there were 3 fumbles. Well, one I think they recovered.
Might have been.
Or it must have went out of bounds, but they lost 2 of them.
One of the 2.
And you can't win a game with what's that? Let's call it 6 turnovers possible. You cannot win a game with 6 turnovers when you don't have the same on the other side.
I mean, they fumbled on the 30. They kicked up. The other Tulane kicks off. The punt hits the North Texas player, bounces right back to the Tulane player.
Insane.
I mean, then the quarterback goes out and throws an interception. Then he comes back out and throws another. It was just like
Tulane ends up with the ball almost 10 minutes longer than North Texas, obviously due to the turnovers. The penalties were a little bit uneven. North Texas did have more penalty yardage, but I mean, I didn't, it wasn't that I didn't think Tulane could win. I just thought North Texas was going to go out there and play better. To me, they're the same team.
Yeah, it
was disappointing.
It was a disaster. It was
disappointing.
I think North Texas is better than that, but that's the way the ball bounces.
That's the way the ball bounces, and they had a great season. They end up losing. So then we move on to Saturday. And speaking of action, Miami of Ohio versus Western Michigan. Both of them. I mean, Miami of Ohio was 7-5. Western Michigan was 8-4. I mean, what are we doing in the match?
It's a match.
But Western Michigan wins 23-13. Nothing to see here. But I don't know if we talk about it on the show. Miami of Ohio a few weeks ago, their quarterback quits the team to get ready for the NFL.
Was he? Did the NFL call him?
I have no idea, but he's a former quarterback of Toledo, DeQuan Finn. He goes to Baylor and gets second fiddle at Baylor, and then goes to Miami, and they're doing halfway decent. They knew they were going to be in the MAC championship. And a few weeks before he quit, sir, I don't think it's going to help you. There's too many great quarterbacks. Did you see what happened last draft? Great quarterback sat on the board
the whole time.
You are not
right.
Sir, you are not getting in. Anyways, moving on to a game that I was very hopeful was going to be better. The Big 12 Championship, another rematch.
BYU, boy. BYU.
Number 11 BYU versus number 4 Texas Tech. And so I thought, you know what? It's really hard to beat the same team twice in a season, but Texas Tech is a really good team. I've said it all season. I think BYU has been playing clumsy.
Yeah, you did say
There were a few losses I thought they should have had, specifically coming to mind the Utah game. And I love Sataki. I love the coach. I think he's a great coach. Oh, I say love, but I like the coach. I think he's a great coach.
It was another North Texas Tulane situation. Bear Bachmeier could not do anything right yesterday. Okay? When we started watching, we did come in late. We came back in the second half. And they had said that he was playing with an ankle injury, so he couldn't run as much as he did. Although I did see him run. But when we come in at an interception. I went, okay, this doesn't look good.
He ended up with 2.
A tip pass. And then they got another turn. And then it was just like all the way down the line. It was just like, what are they doing?
Did you say earlier about everything that could go wrong went wrong? And it's so heartbreaking to play your worst football
on
your biggest game of the year so far.
And all I could see in my notes was another turnover. The O-line collapses.
Texas Tech got some good defense.
Oh my God.
They got some good defense.
Did y'all get up this morning?
Crazy.
The cheesiest? I don't know.
You know what's funny? Quarterback for Tulane, Retzloff.
Yeah, Jake Retzloff.
Was the quarterback for BYU last year.
Oh.
And I don't know why he left. Let's pretend he lost his job. But BYU loses and puts themselves out of playoffs, which we'll talk about. Spoiler alert. And Tulane wins and gets themselves in. And I just think that's some beautiful irony. But anyway.
It is. It was.
We will move on to the game, I guess, of the day, because they're the only ones who didn't have to share a time slot with another game. Of course, the SEC, the toughest conference in football.
But the best game of the day.
That was not the best game of the day.
I feel that it was.
Number 3, Georgia takes on number 9, Alabama. Another rematch.
So,
Bama beat Georgia at home in Athens this year, and they were playing again. Now, I called it. I said Kirby Smart will not lose twice to Alabama in the same season.
Plus, how many injuries did Kirby have when they played that game?
You're absolutely right.
Georgia was playing with a lot of injuries.
And they still are. And they just are playing through them.
They're patched up a lot of them.
You're absolutely right. So Georgia gets the win 28-7, moving Bama to a 10-3 record. And my point is this. Alabama looks stagnant. Where was Ryan Williams?
He was out there. But
I didn't hear his number called that many times.
I see. Not that many times. No.
They kept getting to Ty Simpson. We know Georgia is defense. Georgia is so aggressive, and they are relentless. And they've been here multiple times throughout the season where they've had to claw back. Not yesterday. They beat them 28-7. And it was in an easy fashion.
Well, I don't think it was easy because I thought Alabama defense tried to hang in there. But the offense was stagnant.
28-7 is a 3 touchdown difference.
Well, defense was trying to hold them in. It could have been worse if the defense had been as stagnant as
quarterback for Georgia, Gunnar Stockton, had an amazing game. He went 20 for 26, 156 yards, 3 passing touchdowns, no interceptions.
And Ty Simpson for Alabama went 19 for 39 with 212 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception.
And there you have it. And they just looked good. Which I think we will come back and talk about the results of this game and these two teams playing this year, because it had an effect on the playoff selection today. The game that is the upset of the weekend, a complete shocker. I cannot believe what effing happened. 7-5 Duke went up against ranked number 17 Virginia, who was 10-2. And we said, this
is not going to be a game.
Why? Yeah. We glad they're sharing this slot with the Big 10, because we watching the Big 10, we won't feel like we missing out. Who cares? Duke is 7-5. The ACC is a hot mess. How did even Duke get into the conference game when you have better teams in the conference that could have won against Virginia? They're crazy. This is a stupid game. Virginia, welcome to the playoffs. But no. Go.
Oh, you go back to me. You go back to me, baby. Duke came back and won that game. What was it? 27-20?
Duke led the game.
Overtime.
No.
Duke led. They only Virginia scored in the last minute of the game to tie it.
Duke led the game the entire time. You point out Virginia comes back, scores late in the game, takes it to overtime. Duke wins 27-20. I cannot believe it. Virginia, you just gave away your chance to be in the playoffs. Very happy for Duke. I think that coach has been there a few years, Coach Diaz, and I know they've been trying to work hard, and they'll get good, and then they get bad, and it's been crazy. But however, Virginia. Wow. And this, my dear, is the real game of the day. The creme de la creme. Number 1, Ohio State goes up against number 2, Indiana, in the Big Ten championship. Both teams undefeated. Both teams 12-0 coming into this game. Both teams with great defense. Ohio State's defense is number 1 in the nation. Indiana's is number 2.
Are they?
Yes.
I didn't see that flash across the screen.
It didn't. Okay. They've said it all season that they're number 1 in the nation. And then last night they said Indiana's defense is number 2, only second to Ohio State.
Didn't look like it.
Well, it did look like it, because the score was 13-10. So how could you say it didn't look like it?
Well, the one who got the 13 must have had the better defense.
Not necessarily. They had the better offense.
Anywho, Ohio State lost.
That's your contribution?
That's my contribution.
This is why you know what? Speaking of firings, maybe we should I should fire this co-host.
I had more.
And I need to go out on a nationwide search, because you're supposed to be an Ohio State fan.
Hey, I'm calling it like I see it.
I'm going to call it like I see it too, but you can't say that it wasn't a good defensive game when it was 13-10 in the championship game.
You had the best
we say the opposite when the score is through the roof.
That's defense. The better defense held the other team to 10 points.
That's not how they measure defense, though. You realize that?
I thought there was.
Okay, Joey Jr. with the eye test, or Booger Jr. with the eye test. Give me a break. Ohio State comes out.
This is not a beauty pageant. This is a resume.
Ohio State comes out, and it was clear. Ohio State's the better team. There's no way that Indiana's going to beat them. They just don't have what it takes. That Ohio State team that played yesterday, I have not seen all season. Do you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, has Ohio State had any adversity this season? Yes. For a moment in the Michigan game, Michigan went up 6-0, and there was the interception in there somewhere, right? Early in the game. That was our biggest adversity through the whole entire season, unfortunately. Because it's all about reps, and it's all about, have I been here before? My problem is you have been here before Ryan Day. You have been here before Brian Hartline. And you have been here before Matty Patty. Maybe not college, but I know you've been here before. I blame nothing but the coaches.
They weren't calling something.
They weren't calling anything. And this is what I think happened. And we've said it time and time again, me and you all season. Play your football. If you play the football that you play best and you lose, I could sit here and I could be like, listen, Georgia, Bama. I don't think Bama played good football, but I don't think they tried to play Georgia's football. I just think Georgia just looked amazing and Bama had a bad day, right? That did not look like Ohio State football. Indiana looked like Indiana's football because Indiana is the underdog in this situation and they're playing how they know how to play. They've had adversity. They almost lost to Penn State. They've gone on the road and had a big win against Oregon. And what looked like to me yesterday was Indiana watched the film for Michigan, and they knew the little times they could probably get over on Ohio State. To me, it looked like Ohio State was calling the same. It don't even look like they called the same plays that they called against Michigan. Because where was the down the field? You're called wide receiver university. You put one wide receiver on the field, guess what I'm doing? I'm running. I know you're running. You only have one wide receiver on the field. You have 4 wide receivers that I know of that are like top 4 wide receivers in the nation. What are we talking about? Why isn't Jeremiah and Cardell Tate or 2 wide receivers on this field at all times? Yes, you have some good runners, but you make explosive plays when you have your quarterback can throw all the way down the field. Now, where was the O-line?
The O-line, I had one of the
that I will
give. The O-line collapsed.
I will give it to, yes.
Sacked Julian Sands. Well, at the time I wrote this, it was the 4th quarter. They had sacked him 5. He's been sacked 6 times all year. They sacked him at least 5 times. And there might have been another one. This was at the time they said it was 5. I think they got a couple more in there after I wrote this down. So, they had already sacked him 5 times.
I'll tell you, they sacked Julian 5 times, and Ohio State sacked Fernando Mendoza 3 times. And that's just unacceptable. Now, no fumbles on each side and 1-1 on interceptions on both teams, right? So, fine there. Both quarterbacks, played amazing. Fernando Mendoza was 15 for 23, 222 yards, huge, those NFL numbers. And Julian Sand was 21 for 29, 258 yards. We're talking about a redshirt freshman.
Oh, yeah, I know.
A redshirt freshman who didn't get any reps last year.
Yeah.
He didn't get in behind Will Howard last year. Lincoln Keyholtz did. Yeah. So he's a true red shirt with not a lot of experience. And it was crazy. But you can't have Julian Sand minus 29 when it comes to rushing yards. That's from the sacks. Yeah. 6 sacks lost you 30 yards.
Yeah.
And Jake Fielding, the freaking kicker, could have kicked a field goal for the tie.
Well, you have to understand also that Indiana missed a field goal. So...
there's that too. There's that too.
Tit for tat.
There's that too. You're absolutely right.
Couldn't have made a difference.
But what about these? Well, let's not get. I don't want to give the refs too much of a hard time because they did say there was holding on both sides. I always feel like there was a lot of holding on Ohio State was being held a lot. But what about this bullish forward progress? He blows the whistle and they call it a sack when Julian threw the ball.
I don't know about that. That was crazy. Even the announcer said it was crazy.
So technically he didn't get sacked that many times. Minus 1 of those sacks. What did I say? 5?
Yes.
He technically only got sacked 4 times because he didn't go to the ground and he didn't lose the ball.
They said as long as your legs are still moving, it's progress.
Get that ref out of here. He cannot call any more games for us. That was insane. But I will go back down to my usual topic. It shouldn't come down to the refs. The game shouldn't have even been close. Yeah. And I'll give even little Jake Fielding, even though it seems like every time we got a big moment, he don't get us there. I will give him a pass because it should not have come down to the kicker. You were the better. You got the same offense or defense. You did not have a neck and neck offense.
No.
And you got out coached.
I say they got outplayed. The same thing.
I don't think. But what player can you point to and thought that this player didn't? The O-line, I will say, the O-line did do their job. However, remember back when Bama was having that issue and they lost to Florida State early?
Yes.
And then they said, well, look at the adjustments they made, y'all. Look how fast Ty Simpson gets that ball out.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
So, the O-line was getting to you in the first half. How come you didn't adjust? We a second half team. You should have adjusted and had a plan for it. I love that trick play.
That was a trick. Yeah.
I love the trick play when Julian threw it to Ennis and Ennis threw it across the field. Now, we didn't get the 3rd down. We got lucky because they got a penalty and we got the 1st down that way. But where was that early? Where's the onside kick? This is why I like coaching. You want to talk about
that takes a risk.
Kirby Smart does it.
all the time.
Kirby Smart does it. I always point to Dan Lanning because I know he does it a lot, but I always feel like sometimes people feel like they're above it. They want to play true blue football. Kirby Smart did it yesterday.
Kirby Smart will trick you in a second.
Kirby Smart did an onside kick. Kirby Smart.
Don't turn your back on Kirby.
And they play a full game. And that's, I think, the other thing about Ohio State. And we haven't had to. But I feel like our special teams we have done it before. We need to be more aggressive. Where's the block punts? Where's the block kicks?
Yeah.
Where is it? And where's the trick plays? You cannot stick to some formula you put before the game when it's not working. Piss me off.
It didn't seem like anything was working because I wrote down the momentum had shifted to Indiana. And you could see it. I mean, they were just fourth quarter. They were just coming down the field.
But to me, it wasn't the players to me. I feel like the players were out there giving it what looked lackadaisical was the plays. He didn't muss up and not hand it off. He handed it off. He only gonna be able to run so much. They told him to throw. He threw. Y'all wanted him to throw 5 yards at a time, which wasn't gonna get you anywhere. You're gonna take the risk. Yeah. And why wasn't Igbinoza on the main guy from Indiana, Becker, who kept making all the catches? We know Igbinoza is the best defensive end. Why wasn't he on him? Whose decision is that?
You want me to call Ryan Day and ask?
I already put a call in to Ryan Day. He's not taking calls today, though. He's not taking calls today. He want to focus and yada, yada, yada. I don't like it. You didn't have to lose is my point. I'm not mad at the loss. I'm mad at the loss when you played like shit.
Well,
No. Let me not even say that. You coached like shit. I'm not putting it on none of the players.
Okay.
Because everybody looked like they went out there and they did the job they were supposed to do. Jeremiah got the ball. He was supposed to catch the ball. He caught the ball. Why weren't you giving him? They had a person on him who was 50 pounds lighter and 6 inches shorter.
That's true.
Now, they did triple team him sometime. And they did triple team Cardell Tate. But if I put both of them on the field and you triple team both of them, what does that leave? 5 against 9. We can't make something happen?
It's true.
Makes no sense. Made no sense. And it's not just me.
Who was it?
Everybody on the big news show said that Ohio State was going to win. And even at the beginning of the game, Joe Klatt said it. I don't know what answer you have for the Ohio State wide receivers. You get the coaches not to use the wide receivers. And they didn't, which made no sense.
Vegas had them.
I'm glad you brought that up. Somebody else we know said Vegas made the call.
Vegas made the call.
And
for
$94 million. A conspiracy theorist, 97% of the public money was on Ohio State.
Ooh.
Real convenient. Real convenient.
Vegas is $97 million, which was this morning.
Investigate. Call the FBI. We need to investigate everybody. Investigate everybody.
From the rest to the kicker.
And the coaches. Brian Hartline, you need to take your ass to South Florida today. If you're not going to come in and call like you're supposed to call, then Brian Day can go to his old job and call.
Speaking of Hartline, didn't he say he was going to stay right to the end?
Yes.
Maybe our end will be sooner than what
do we need him? Come on.
Well, after that loss yesterday, I don't know. I can't call it.
I do have to say, I cannot stand Coach Kirk today. I cannot stand him. I don't respect any. Let me go back. I don't like his attitude. I don't like his energy. You have to respect what he's done for Indiana, a losing program in the last 2 years. Incredible. That I can say. But I do not like him. I do like.
Week 1, he was number 20. Look what he's
that wasn't on anybody but the dummies who did the ranking. I don't know why they put him that low. They made it to the playoffs last year. Yeah, they lost, but you need to look at
20?
The 12 teams that made it to the playoffs.
Should have been in the top 12.
Those should have been or at least the first considerations.
You're right.
Why was he down to 20 anyway?
I don't even know.
Made no sense. Same way they always trying to rank Texas and somebody, and you like, why?
Yep. And then they come down
and it's like, well, why didn't they? They're not really that good of a team just because you felt like it. But you know how I feel about Cal State. And you know that Fernando Mendoza was the quarterback for Cal State last year. So I am very happy for Fernando Mendoza and Fernando Mendoza only.
Going to the Heisman Trophy.
I don't think he's a Heisman Trophy, but I mean, you know what?
Hey, he's in the top 4.
Have to, you know what? You have to give some credit. Coming from a program like Cal State, that's a losing program, and coming to Indiana, you
Wow.
actually you do have to have some. He's the favorite right now. I just
Number
think,
one in the nation.
But I have a sentiment like a lot of people. I don't understand why it always has to be a quarterback that's the Heisman Trophy winner.
I don't either.
It makes no sense to me.
Look at them defensive ends.
They don't throw it to nobody.
Wow.
And how do they have time to throw? Because you have an O lineman. Now I know they don't ever give love to the O lineman and the D lineman, but at the same time, it's kind of like I don't know why quarterbacks always are the front runners for the Heisman. I think that needs to be changed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because Jeremiah Love's in there. He's a running back, and he's been incredible this year, and I think that's great. But he's one out of the quote-unquote 4 favorites. It's 3 quarterbacks, which makes no sense to me. Or I just don't like it. There, I said it.
That said it. It's out of the way. Okay, we'll see what they decide.
Okay, so.
Then this morning.
Oh,
Lord.
We get into Selection Sunday, and this is them seeding all of the teams that is going to be in the college football playoffs. Now, I will say, I called it because this is what I'm good at.
Did you?
No matter who won or lost in the Ohio State game, I knew it was they were still going to be 1 and 2. However you wanted to cut it up. Indiana wins, they come seeded number 1. Ohio State seeded number 2. I completely agree with that decision. Do you have any problems with that?
Yeah, nope.
Okay, stop me when you have a problem.
It had to be.
Number 3, Georgia. Makes sense. Number 4, Texas Tech. Number 5, Oregon.
Makes sense.
I would like to put a pin in it right here and say, out of the top 5 teams, 3 of them are Big Ten. Yet SEC is the tough. Oh, okay. Number 6, and for you give me the argument of, well, that's why they're not in it because they're so tough and they play each other. No, because I've seen them lose some games they shouldn't have lost. No, Texas to Florida. I digress. Number 6, Ole Miss without Lane Kiffin.
That's gonna be a kicker.
It's gonna be interesting. Now, I think we talked about the offensive coordinator left, but Lane Kiffin to go to LSU with Lane, but they're gonna let him go back and call for the rest of the season, and then they promoted the defensive coordinator as head coach. So there is some continuity, just not the head coach.
Everybody, yeah.
Okay. Number 7, Texas A&M. Pretty much the same as we talked about Tuesday, right? No big changes. Number 8, Oklahoma. And number 9, Alabama. If Alabama loses the conference championship, they don't move. I agree with that decision.
I do too.
Okay. A lot of people did not.
I know, but I don't think they should have. Okay.
And we'll talk about why. Okay. Number 10, and this is the shocker, because this is the last team at large, which means they didn't win a conference championship. Miami gets in.
And this is where it got ugly.
They lost their minds. Let me wrap it up, and then let's get into it. Get into it. Okay. Number 11, of course, is the conference champion of the American Conference. Tulane. Tulane gets in. And then number 12, JMU gets in. So 2 G5 teams get into the playoffs because the ACC championship was a bunch of bullshit. But here we are. Now, where they gave the committee grief. And before we get into it, can we shout out the only woman, the only person of color on this 12-team committee? 11 white men and 1 black woman. Miss Carla Williams is in the room.
She's AD for
Virginia. I know, girl. She had to watch that game and still come to work.
Oh, dang.
Man, and they said they were there at 2:30 in the morning last night. And came back again early this morning.
When the sun was coming out.
But you know what? Side note, I wish when I was younger I knew. I would love to be an athletic director. Like, how do I get to be an athletic director?
I don't know. We have to ask Carla.
I got to follow Carla. I got to follow her. Where's her? I got to get on her LinkedIn. Also, rest in peace to Roy Kramer. Roy Kramer, longtime AD or commissioner of the SEC. Yes. He is the creator of the conference title game, and they give him credit for this whole 12-team playoff.
Wow.
I mean, he's like 96. He was born in 1929.
Yeah, he was.
But died. What an effect on college football. Yeah, past weekend. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. I never knew it was. Maybe we did talk about it before.
I don't know, but I'm telling you.
Digress. Okay.
So we come down.
The argument.
To what happened.
Notre Dame, Miami, Alabama.
All right. Here you gotta let me say this. 9 was Alabama. 10 was Notre Dame. 11 was BYU. 12 was Miami.
Last week.
What happened? BYU lost.
No, you go into the wrong argument. No, you
Miami moved up.
That wasn't the argument. Nobody talked about BYU today. You're going off of last week. I'm talking about today. The argument was there were 3 teams that they felt like were on the bubble, and that was Notre Dame, Miami versus Bama. And I think first things first, we need to slice that up and slice Bama off. Why?
Because Bama's still number 9.
Bama's number 9. They're seeded number 9. It's not necessarily ranked number 9. But I think you have to take Bama out of this conversation because they want to say Bama, they say the conference championship can't hurt you. Did Bama lose in a bad fashion yesterday? Yes. But guess what? They've also beat this team before. So I don't want to hear the argument of why did BYU have to drop one. They wouldn't have got in anyways.
Because BYU lost to the same team
twice. In an awful fashion.
So that's why they dropped
in an awful fashion. What did Kurt Herbstreit say? Bama's been leaking oil.
He did.
They've been leaking oil. Oh, but BYU, we just told you. You lost twice to the same team and you didn't show up. You didn't show up. Now, if you would have shown up, we'd be talking about something different today.
Yes, we will.
You would have showed up. You didn't show up. So, everybody's giving the committee crap about Miami, Notre Dame.
So, Miami moves up because of the Notre Dame loss. Now,
when?
In their minds, they're saying, he said, BYU stood between, this is what the AD said, what do you call him, the commissioner.
The commissioner of the CFB.
He said, we had to wait till all the games were played because there was a team, BYU, between Miami and Notre Dame. Okay, BYU loses. Right. Now you got Notre Dame and Miami.
Yes.
And here's where the head-to-head come in. You didn't drop they kept saying they didn't drop Alabama, but that's...
we just said that was stupid argument.
That was neither here nor there.
Me and you agree.
Okay, because Alabama and Georgia was 1-1.
Basic
BYU was loss and loss.
0-2.
0-2 against the same team. So they moved Miami. That would move Miami up 1. Now, technically, Miami would have still been 11. Had they dropped Alabama,
okay,
Miami might have been 10. But here's the argument. They dropped Notre Dame out. Now, head-to-head, they said, we had to compare Miami and Notre Dame head-to-head. The wins, losses, the strength of schedule, SOR, whatever they got.
Opponents are common.
They said they're all very even. They were all, the whole stats were even.
Yep.
Between
which
Miami.
They showed us. Yep.
Which they showed us.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the kicker was Notre Dame lost to Miami in the first game. Was it the first game?
Week 1.
Week 1. You're out of here, Notre Dame. No matter how you won 10 in a row after you lost the first 2.
But everybody's giving the committee crap because they had Notre Dame ranked at number 10, which would hypothetically put them in the playoffs. And it pissed me off today because Reese and them don't understand. What don't you understand? They're like, well, the head-to-head should have came up. They played week 1. They needed to watch these games this weekend.
Because what if BYU had a won?
Thank you.
Because if BYU had a won, we wouldn't even be having this argument right now.
Thank you. They're like, well, that doesn't matter. They didn't play this weekend. It did matter because if BYU would have won, who gives a F about Notre Dame and Miami? BYU would have been in, and it would have been no conversation.
And the commissioner, I guess, tried to say that, but I don't think they were getting it. He kept saying BYU was in between these two. Once these two were wiped out, why didn't you just tell us that Tuesday? The games weren't played Tuesday. They were just played yesterday.
And they could not fathom They could not fathom it. These people get paid top dollar.
Well, y'all could have done. Y'all should have already done the head-to-head.
No.
Why? No. I don't know if BYU's going to lose.
No, I don't.
So then when it does come down to head-to-head, then we can look at it again, which the committee did. They looked at the game again.
Yep.
And they said, based on what we've seen, based on our arguments with each other, we decided to put Miami in.
Yep.
End of story. I understand it. Why couldn't they? Well, I guess they have more football under their belt than I do.
But you would think so.
But you
would think so, but they couldn't
fathom the argument that he was trying to make. We had to wait. BYU lost. We see BYU lose.
Exactly.
Well, why didn't you drop Alabama? Because they beat Georgia. Did BYU ever beat Texas Tech? No. They lost both games.
Yep.
Did Alabama lose both games to Georgia? No.
Yep.
They only lost 1 game to Georgia.
Yep.
That's why they did not drop Alabama. They said, look, y'all 1-1. Y'all still in our estimation about even. So we're going to leave you where you at. Why would I drop them? You
Why would I?
They're number 3 in the nation.
Why would I? And
Georgia's number 3.
And you have to consider, what if Georgia would have shut Alabama out and won 55-0?
Then
that game mattered too.
That might have been and
then they might have been like, well, dang. If this is the Bama kind of been, is this the Bama we thought they were?
Or do we want to put them in the playoff? And then it might have been a different story.
Might have been a different game, and the whole conversation. So them not understanding the fact of why they needed to wait to this weekend, even though Notre Dame and Miami wasn't playing is crazy. Them not understanding the why wasn't the head-to-head considered. And like you pointed out, when we started ranking them, Miami was number 18 when we started the ranking.
I know it.
We didn't know that people were going to lose and drop like flies and move around. Can I bring up one more ridiculous thing?
I can't stop you.
Your son. Yeah, you can't. Your son.
Don't blame that on me.
You want to talk about who should be and who should be. Your son says Texas should be in the playoffs.
No. What? He ain't my son.
Texas should be in the playoffs.
They're ranked 13.
They are nowhere near.
They ended up 13.
They are. You were absolutely right. They ended up 13. They are nowhere near.
And this was a team that started out number 1, week 1. Just to show you.
That just tells you that these people don't know what they're talking about.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Y'all need to go back and look at the metrics y'all are ranking these people, because I mean, I didn't send it to you. Oh, I should have sent it to you.
Well, the thing with this too, as we said, when you end up in the smoke clears and you start another year, don't y'all look back at what y'all did the year before? I say don't y'all look back. It's the AP poll. They're Associated Press. They're supposed to know. They drag all the facts. They twist them any way they want. Y'all are AP. AP is one of the there's a coaches poll too, but usually the AP rules over.
Right, of course. Now, until we go to playoffs. Right?
Y'all see all this. You know who's recruited. You got the facts in front of y'all. Y'all got computers too, just like everybody else. Y'all could have fed all this into the computer and say, okay, what do y'all say? So y'all see all this. Y'all know who's coming. Y'all know who's left, right?
Yep. Well,
so then you go and rank, like you say. If I'm the people that ended up either one in a bowl, even whatever, I would at least give them some consideration when I rank people next year.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you lose a lot. We lost a lot.
We lost 13 people to the NFL draft.
Oregon lost a lot. I don't know how many Indiana lost, but they lose a lot of good players.
Who's the quarterback last year for Indiana?
I have no idea.
That's our fill in the blank sponsor question of the day. I cannot remember who the quarterback was last year.
I don't know.
For the life of me, I cannot remember.
Yeah. But it doesn't matter.
It does not matter. Thank you for
doesn't matter.
pointing that out. Well, here's the thing. They do consider who left. And what I think happens is there are programs that lose players and you can think, gosh, it's going to be really hard for them to replenish. Yeah. But there's some programs that lose players and it's not that hard to replenish. I think Ohio State is one of them. And I think what you gave credit to Texas for was the perspective of what the incoming quarterback was going to do. And you did not give that same grace to a team like Ohio State, right?
Well,
gave it to,
he had no name.
Well, then you give Penn State, you give them credit for having Drew Aller come back, and so you rank them number 1 and you rank us number 3.
Right.
No, I was going to show you earlier. Somebody put a graph together of all the people where we started preseason.
Oh, okay.
And where they ended up.
Yeah.
And out of the 25, I mean, 1, 2, 3, unranked. I mean, so they got this so wrong. Wrong. They had Texas at number 1, they ended up 13.
Yeah.
You had Indiana ranked 20. At 20. They ended at 2, and now we know today.
Now look. Yeah.
You had Texas A&M at 19.
And now they're number 3.
What were you thinking? Sorry.
They're number 7.
What were you thinking? Yeah, Texas Tech at 23.
Wow.
So it's just like, it's crazy.
You don't know.
But you're supposed to know.
Yeah, because
you're supposed to know. You're supposed to be
all those facts in
an expert. You got all the stats. You got all the analysts, and y'all don't know what y'all be talking about. So that's why sometimes you say it all the time. Sometimes that number next to your name don't matter. You got to go out, and it's what's left on that scoreboard. That's what matters at the end of the day. And so,
Duke.
And then sometimes I feel like you let that number get to you.
Sometimes it goes to your head, and
you thought you were number 1 and you weren't.
Ohio State.
No,
but,
I doubt. Not okay. That's a farce.
No,
that's a farce.
That's not a good. That's egregious.
That's egregious.
It's egregious.
Okay, what are your thoughts on this whole? They should expand the playoffs.
It was like one of the analysts said, you expand the playoffs. What good is going to do you? Because right now you have 5 of the top SEC champions in the thing. Next year, remember y'all, it's going to be 6 because the Pac-12 is coming back.
No, they're not going to be 6. What are you talking about?
Pac-12 is going to be in there.
No, they're not. They're leaving it at 5. Why did you make that up?
They said by next year it will be 6.
It's going to be 6
conference champions.
No, that's not.
That's what. Yes, they did.
The group of 5 is going to a group of 6. Pac-12 is not a Power 4 school.
Oh, that's right. You're talking Power 4.
Yes.
All right.
So they said group of 5 next year is going to be group of 6 because the Pac-12 is going to be another conference because they couldn't play it. They sucked this year, but they couldn't even be considered this year. So
well,
they had to have.
Yeah, they had to have.
But it didn't matter. The teams weren't that good anyways.
Oh Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so it's still going to be 5 conference champions, which they were hating on that. Well, and then it's about getting rid of the conference championship, which I disagree with.
Oh my God, they cannot get rid of the conference. Well, McElroy made a point, and I don't usually agree with him, but he made a point. If they don't get rid of the conference champions, just pick them another way. Do an 8-5 team. Do you consider a conference champion? And I said no.
Yes, they won a conference championship. Why wouldn't you consider them a champion?
8-5. You think that's
they won the conference championship? Why are they not a champion?
Well, they can be a champion, but when they're talking about picking the best teams to
play I don't think they should. Okay, see, that's where it's 2 different things.
8-5 should have not been playing.
They're not in the playoffs.
I know that. I am saying.
So why are we bringing them up about the playoffs?
I think they were talking about the conference champion.
I don't care what they're talking about. I'm talking about you. How do you feel?
Conference champions should be picked differently.
No, conference champions. I agree. Certain conferences, the ACC.
Because I don't think Duke should have been playing Virginia.
I agree. That's not a CFP committee problem. That's an ACC problem. Now, I don't think you take away the conference championships because then you leave out then you have the message of, okay, so what is the group of 6 playing for all year? Y'all don't want to put them in the playoffs. Y'all talk shit about them. I don't care how many times you say, oh, well, we respect that they're here, but no. So what do they play? If you're going to take away the conference championship and then you also think they don't deserve to be in the playoffs, then what do they play for all year? That makes no sense. They need to keep the conference championships because there is still some honor on being the best in your conference. Again, you brought up Duke. I think that's a perfect example. Little Duke was able to walk away with their head high and a title, knowing daggone well they had no chance to get into the playoffs.
Still, there are teams, like they said, that should have been possibly.
Okay, but that's not the question I'm asking.
Oh, okay.
You keep saying the conference. You're talking about the playoffs. I'm not talking about the playoffs.
I'm talking about the conference championship.
Yes, that has nothing to do with you taking away conference championship games. Has nothing to do with the playoffs. The teams that they thought should be in weren't in the conference championship games. They're talking about Texas and Vandy. They're talking about BYU. They're talking about Notre Dame.
They had better records. That's what I'm saying.
So what? That doesn't have. You're not listening to me. I'm talking about the conference games.
Okay, I'm talking about the conference games too.
What does that have to? What does Texas having a 9-3 record have to do with an ACC conference game? Nothing.
Never mind. Because they had to me, the better record should go. Those.
Okay. Because my gosh, this lady with no baby. Okay. Who do you think is going to win the first round? Ready? Lightning round.
Lightning round.
Get ready. All right. JMU at Oregon.
Oregon.
Alabama at Oklahoma.
That's a toss-up.
Gun to your stomach. Come on.
Oklahoma.
Tulane. Ooh, controversy. Tulane, Ole Miss. At Ole Miss.
Ole Miss.
Miami at Texas A&M.
Texas A&M.
Ooh. Okay. I am going to agree with you, except I think Miami is going to pull an upset. And
Texas A&M.
Yes. In College Station. Yes. Yes. I said it here.
No.
I said it here. I wish Tulane could pull an upset, but I don't think they're gonna be able to. No. And I think Bama's gonna beat Oklahoma.
I think they have Bama that played yesterday.
I think.
And Bama has already lost Oklahoma, so
3 times, right?
Well, they lost. No,
They said it was like 3 times in a year. They played 3 times in a year. I think they've lost every time.
3 times in the last 3 years?
In the last year, because they played them in the playoffs.
Oh.
Yes. Okay. What they didn't go over today, and I thought they would kind of get into it, were the bowl games.
I think they had a place you could go to.
But see, this is kind of my point too. I feel like this is why I don't want them to. I agree with you. I don't think they should expand the playoffs because it's always okay. The top 12. Well, what about 13, 14? Okay, top 16. What about 17? You're gonna keep doing it. And so I think it's silly. I love that it's only 12. Maybe you adjust how you do the automatic bye or the automatic in for the conference champions. That's totally fine. But I think it should stay 12 because if you want to be in, you need to play all season. You can't just kind of try to come and win at the end. So I don't think they should expand it. However, I also feel like with the playoffs, they've kind of cheapened the bowl experience. The bowl is still something to be proud of to me. If you can get to a bowl. Especially if you get to the higher bowls, I think they kind of throwing them to the wayside is like, oh, everybody just needs to come play for the playoffs. There's 130 teams in the FBS.
Right.
So if I'm not the top 12, I can't get, be celebrated.
Well, they'll get theirs when they get to the bowl.
But I think that them not emphasizing the bowl kind of cheapens the bowl.
Oh, you said they should have said something on the show.
Well,
they sent you to a website where you could get all the bowls.
Oh, well,
but
thank you.
Said,
you talked 3 hours about 12 teams.
Right, all right. I think they did last year. I think they told us who was going.
I think they did too. That's why I'm
they
a little bit
told
frustrated.
us, 25 is going to play so and so and so.
Exactly.
At
least the ranked teams. You could at least tell us where the ranked teams was going that didn't get in the playoffs.
I think
that would have been nice.
I think they did go with the top 25.
I think the only one I seen pop up, which I am excited about, is the Cheez-It Bowl. Michigan's playing Texas.
That's the only one I brought up.
Wait, speaking of bowls, did you see that Iowa State and Kansas State opted out of a bowl?
Yes, they did.
How do you feel about that?
And that was sad. But you know what? Their reasoning was, and I was thinking, well, maybe the guys just felt like this is bullcrap. Because they got fined $500,000 too. That's a $500,000 each. Wow, Big 10 took a hit. Big 12 took a hit on that one.
No, Big 12 gets the money. School getting fined.
The school's getting fined.
Big 12 is finding you, Kansas State, because give me $1 million together, y'all.
They have contracts, and as you know, you got a contract, man. You don't fulfill it. Hey, I'm getting my money. Whoever you is, you didn't do what you were supposed to do. But I digress. They lost their coaches. As you told me, Iowa State, Matt Campbell is going to Penn State.
Yes,
and then Kansas State's coach, they said Chris Kleiman retired. I didn't see that he had hired another coach, but maybe it's an opening for me to put my resume in.
Okay. Oh, God.
Players got together. They said they talked to the AD. They lost their coaches. They don't feel like you're a football player, and I understand it. And you've had this coach, but hey, you don't know what may happen. You may go in there and win. And so it's kind of like you agree with on one side. They just didn't feel like they wanted to play. Their coach is gone. But, hey, you're a trooper. You're supposed to go in one for the giver.
Yes, and I feel
like... You know what I'm saying?
All of this hoopla about how they hate the NIL and they hate players and players opting out of the bowl and all of this, I think it's not considering the whole team.
Yeah, you gotta...
Because, okay,
suck
great.
It up, I guess.
You think you're going to the NFL and you want to be drafted, you don't want to get hurt, fine. Y'all can still go to the bowl. You shouldn't get a vote. A, you shouldn't be able to vote if y'all want to play or not. But if you're not going to play.
Support.
B, where's the second string? What about the third string?
Yeah.
They want to play.
They might be seniors out there.
And then, okay, I don't have a head coach. Coaches have 30 member staffs. What about them? What about, okay, well, let the OC coach, interim head coach in it. Why wouldn't you? I just don't understand it. Why wouldn't you take the opportunity to play more football? Just because you don't want to do it, what about the next man up?
Because there's scouts out there. Scouts are at every one of these bowl games. May not be a lot of them, but they are there. And they're there for a reason.
And you bought up the contract. It's a contractual obligation.
Big 12 says we're going to play every bowl game that you give us.
Yes. And that's a lesson. That's a lesson in life they need to learn too. They shouldn't be able to just, we're going to vote and opt out. You can't just opt out of a contract.
And I'm the Independence Bowl. I done paid you all this money to show up on December 15th, whenever you're supposed to show up. Yeah. And you're going to tell me, oh, no, I don't want to play because my coach is gone.
No.
Like I said, I can understand on one side But on the other side,
I don't understand it.
you want to go to the NFL. You want to be a professional.
Okay.
Well,
so
this is where you start learning.
you do what you don't want to do.
Do what you don't. But you can't do that in the NFL.
Or you don't block it for somebody else. Is my point. I understand not wanting to play because you don't want to get hurt and you want to go to the NFL. Fine, great. Who's replacing you next year? Is he here? No. Who is here? Let them play. Let them play. And so what if you get blown out? It's like you always want to talk about there's too much money and there's too much ego. Well, you put the money in it, and that's why you got the contractual obligation, right. Because you also have a sponsor now. Everybody got a sponsor. There's a corporate sponsor to every freaking bowl. It's ridiculous. True. Well, you need to have this conversation ahead of time. Maybe you put something in when you pay these people this money that everybody's gonna show up for the bowl. Again, you have to play the whole time. No. But somebody should show up. And if you get beat, so what? You get beat. Somebody gonna hold a bowl game against you next year?
No, they will not.
Get out of here. And guess what? What if you go in there and you upset somebody?
That's what I'm saying. What if you go in and win? That's a star in your basket.
Hello. Well, the other bowl game I'm really excited about is my two secret teams. Cal State and Hawaii are playing in the Hawaii Bowl.
Ah, God.
Oh, you don't respect it.
I don't know, but I do like Hawaii. I do. Who's playing?
Cal State is playing Hawaii.
Who's their coach? They got a new coach, right?
Cal State is, yes, but I don't know if he's going to be coaching.
Oh, okay.
He might, actually, he might.
It's so many coaches moving.
Yeah.
I don't, these guys are flying around. I'm coaching here, but I'm going to fly out to there.
Oh, it's crazy. Another good one might be number 23 Iowa is playing Vanderbilt in the ReliaQuest Bowl.
That's a good one.
That could be a good one. We already talked about Texas and Texas and Michigan. That's a good one.
That's a good one.
And then Nebraska, Utah, and I don't know how I feel about that one. I don't know if I'm not excited.
Oh, you've already looked up the bowl.
Well, I looked up a few. They're not even all posted. Why they tell me to go to a website? They're not even on here. Piss me off.
Okay, we can see how these gonna go.
And this is not gonna go well. Okay,
this is not going well.
So next week, all we have is Navy versus Army.
That's always our last game of the year.
Okay,
I'm excited.
We're excited. We'll come back and we'll do a show. We'll do a shorty.
It'll be a shorty show.
Yep, we'll come back Sunday. We'll do a shorty show. I'm sure we'll have more gripes because they always just want to keep it coming and piss me off. It's going to be more talk about this stupid playoff. I'm so tired of these people. You know what? We're not going to go into it.
Where did the year go?
Where did the year go? We ain't done yet, baby. We're going into the postseason. So we'll watch Army Navy, and then we'll have bowls, and then we'll have playoff games. And it is just
getting started.
The beginning of the second half.
That's what I call it.
I'm Kelly, like the color.
Oh, I'm Gil, like the butter.
And this is Saturday Hangover. Like, subscribe. Please educate her. She is a hard-headed, not listening person. And follow us on YouTube. We will be back Sunday for a little shorty. And hope everybody's getting ready for the second half of college football. Sorry if your team didn't make it to the postseason. Congrats to everybody
always next year.
There's always next year. Maybe we'll have more bowl games to talk about.
Oh, maybe we'll have more teams to talk about.
And there it is. We'll see y'all next week.
All right. Adios.